Hey, yo, hey everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing a movie review, and that will be of Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. Now, I saw this movie last night, late last night after work with my girlfriend, and the reason why I saw it last night is because at my movie cinema they do $6 Tuesdays, so might as well go see the movie for $6 rather than go see it for its full price opening day. It's because I'm cheap. But anyways, with that said, as you guys may or may not know, I'm a huge fan of the Prince of Persia video games, the Sands of Time trilogy, which would be Sands of Time, Warrior Within, and Two Thrones. Fantastic games, great stories, great gameplay. Just overall, there was very little bad about them. They were just good games. Flat, plain, and simple. To be honest, going into this movie, as much as I like the game series, I went in with low expectations. See, I really wanted to see the Sands of Time movie because I love the game series so much. But I know from previous experiences that movies based off video games usually suck balls. Final Fantasy Spirits Within, the Super Mario Brothers, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, they aren't good movies at all. I mean, some of them are so bad that they're good, like Street Fighter, but some of them are just downright horrible, like Mario. So, video game movies, for the most part, don't necessarily succeed. So that's why I went into the low expectations. I also went in knowing that a lot of the movie was going to be changed from the video games. This movie is even based off 3 video games, so they're cramming a lot into it. So I knew about 50% of it was going to be about the video games, and 50% of it was going to be its own story. I'm glad to say that they took enough from the video games that it was recognizable as Prince of Persia without actually being the video games and being its own story. So with that said, let's actually get into the story itself. Now, in this, a lot of characters were combined together. For example, Princess Farah was combined with Kalina and Elika to make one princess named Tamina, I think? I could be wrong on the name. In addition to that, the prince is actually given a name, Destin, which is funny because we never know the prince's name throughout any of the games. But anyways, the story starts off with Destin being a common street rat being brought in to the royal family by the king after seeing an act of compassion from Destin. He then becomes a Prince of Persia. He has 2 brothers, one of which is in line for the throne. They are on their way to battle when they find out that there is actually weapons being made in this holy city. They go and attack the holy city to find these weapons. However, they are deceived. There are no weapons there whatsoever. The Prince Destin finds this blade, this dagger of time, which he takes for himself. He is then framed for his father's murder by someone who I'm not going to reveal, although it is kind of twisty-turny how they do things with that. Him and the Princess Tamina, I think? Again, I'm not sure on the name. She really wasn't important enough for me to remember. Go on this misadventure to try to clear his name and fix what has happened to the Sands of Time. See, the Sands of Time in this story is about the sands that the gods unleashed on the earth to destroy all mankind. However, they were sought by one of the guardians, and if the sands are released, you know, the world will be destroyed. That kind of shit. So they need to prevent the bad guy from getting their hands on the Dagger of Time. So that's the basic story. I'm not going to reveal too much because I don't want to give too much away. So we'll make this a quick review. Good, bad, and whether or not you should see it. Good. I thought they adapted a lot of the video games into the movies. Throughout many scenes, you see the prince wear all the costumes that he wore throughout the games. From Sands of Time, from the new 2008 game, from the Warrior Within, and from the Two Thrones. So you see him wear a lot of the costumes. And even though Farah wasn't in the movie, I did like how they combined all the princesses together. I thought it was a comfortable way of doing things. The action was really nice, the fight scenes were good, and I really liked the acrobatics that they did in this game. I thought the story was pretty simple, however it worked for what it was. They did a little twisty-turnings on who actually killed the father, the king, and I like to resolve the movie. It kind of ended the way I thought it was going to, kind of how the first game ended, only a little bit different. Jake Gyllenhaal did a fairly good job as the prince. The prince was, for lack of a better term, a scoundrel in the game, and Jake Gyllenhaal did a pretty good job at doing that. And on the whole, the acting was mediocre at best. I wasn't expecting fantastic acting, but it wasn't bad, per se. Bad of the movie. Well, one thing is the movie is way too long. They spend a lot of time going from one place to the other, to another place, to another. They could have cut a lot of scenes out, and I mean a lot of scenes out. In addition to that, I thought that they dabbled in magic a good amount, but I think they could have done more with monsters and stuff like that. I know they were trying to go for a little bit more of a realistic tone, but in the video game, all you fight are fucking monsters. So it would have been nice to see some of the big beasts that the prince fought in the game in this also. Other than that, I really don't think there was any more bad about this. I wish they adapted a little bit more of the two other games. They adapted more of Sands of Time than anything, rather than Warrior Within and Two Thrones. It would have been nice to see the Dark Prince show up and have that chain weapon, because in the previews I thought I saw the chain weapon and it was actually a bad guy using it. Maybe they'll make a sequel and have it happen, but if they don't make a sequel, I'll be okay with it. The movie itself stands alone for itself, which brings me to whether or not you see it. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, I went in with low expectations, and I'm glad I did because I came out happy. In no way, shape, or form is this an absolutely fantastic movie, but in no way, shape, or form is it a bad movie. It's an okay movie. If you're fans of the Sands of Time trilogy, then you're going to enjoy this. If you're not a fan of Prince of Persia, you're not going to enjoy this. Pretty simple. If you like the games, go see it. You'll enjoy this. As long as you go in with an open mind knowing that this isn't going to be like the games 100%, and that it's going to be kind of different. However, if you're not a fan of Prince of Persia, like my girlfriend, you might fall asleep. But on the whole, the action was enough to keep me awake, and the story was good enough to keep me interested. So Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a solid B-. It's above average, but it's nowhere in the absolutely good section. So with that said, I'm going to end this video review here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.